it's Lindsay from the blog Books for Christian Girls, and today I'm going to be talking about books. Are you shocked? But not just any books. We will specifically be talking about the books I reviewed in October. And you know what? These were actually some pretty great books, but before I get into them, I'd like to ask what happened to October. Where did it go? I don't know. But you know, we are getting closer to 2018, which at the same time is kind of mind-boggling, but exciting. But it's exciting because of the books coming out in 2018. Y'all, I have already been working on that list for y'all so we can film that come January where anticipated books 2018. Here we go. I'm so excited for that, but that's not this video. No. This video is the October wrap-up, so let's get started. So if you can guess what book I'll start this off with, props to you. You've been watching my videos long enough. And it's Mandy and the Mandy and the Buried Stranger. Okay. This sounds a little bit more morbid, kind of gruesomer than you would expect from a Mandy mystery. But trust me, it's clean, and it's not a dead body like you would think. That means he's alive. So that doesn't really make it sound any better, Lindsay. How do I explain this? It's right at the end. It's not, like, gross or scary at all. Yeah, okay, so there's a buried stranger at, like, the last couple chapters. But, I mean, it's not anything at all, so that's safe, especially for preteens, because this is a preteen series. But then what really got me in this book was all the Mandy and Joe feels. They just continued from the last book, Mandy and the Long Goodbye, and they just continued on. It's like yes, y'all. Mandy and Joe, y'all, they're like the original ship next to Christy and Todd. Mandy and Joe, they're adorable, and then Mandy is getting shy around Joe, and she's blushing, and she doesn't understand why. It's like, poor child. Poor child. It's like, why am I enjoying this so much? Been there, done that, but it's just so cute. So, again, it is technically for preteens, so it's completely safe. It's minor of everything. The content review is up on BFCG. For all of these books, this is number 31. We are in the final stretch, as I've been saying, and that's bittersweet, y'all. But I definitely remember how much I loved these later books, mainly because Mandy and Joe. I was a shipper from a young age, and I didn't even know what that word was. So Mandy and Joe are just so cute and so sweet in this one, and then they have their mystery. And I'm pretty sure the next book I'll talk about next month doesn't have as much Mandy and Joe in it, but they made up for it with these past two books. So I obviously gave this one 4 stars. So sticking with the whole preteen genre, which we actually reviewed quite a few books in that genre this month, so go us. But I also reviewed AJ's Island by Renee Riva. Riva? I think that's right. Is that right? Please tell me, Miss Renee. I gave this one 4 stars. This is actually the prequel story of the trilogy AJ, which I reviewed book 1 and 2 of so far. And this follows our main girl AJ, who is 9 in this book, and her family wins a trip to go to Ireland for Christmas, and the whole family is honestly just so zany and fun and entertaining. So it's just a really good read, and even though it is for Christmas, I read it when it's not Christmas, and it was just so cute. You can read this one before or after the series. I kind of think you ought to read Saving Sailor first, just because that's a full-length one, and it's just so great. Not really a specific reason for that. I actually am reading this one after the fact of reading the main trilogy, so I'm kind of going back in time, but it's fun to do that. So you could do that, you could read it first. Honestly, I feel like it's open to you. Also reviewed was a contemporary preteen book, and that was Kayla's Big Move by Angela Dunsonbury. I think I accented that wrong. Please correct me, Miss Angela. I gave this book 3 stars. It follows this girl named Kayla, and she's 13. She just lost her father a year prior to the book opening from a school shooting. So they just moved. She's having to fit into this new school setting. And it's got a lot of the real life public school type topics. And honestly, it was a really cute read though. And I really wanted to be like a big sister to Kayla and hug her and give her advice at times. But alas, I'm not in the book. But that's okay, because I did really still enjoy this one. And I'm looking forward to reading and reviewing book 2 soon. I have to add though, I was really happy with the ending and how Kayla acted at the end. And I don't want to give spoilers, but I was happy with the ending. So I do notice that I do say like Melody Carlson Book of the Month and Janice Thompson Book of the Month. It's not a book club for anyone who's confused. It's just me saying I reviewed yet another book by this author this month. So that's like how many months in a row? Because they each have so many books. And I want to try to put a dent in that for reviewing purposes, and that's what that is. So we do actually have a book of each of those authors. And on that note, Melody Carlson's Girl Power I reviewed this month. It is a preteen book with diversity, y'all. Finally, yes! So this is actually a Faith Girls series that's been reprinted, and these are actually the original collection editions, like the first ones. They've just reprinted them and they're cute, but I really like these for some reason. But since this is a collection, it actually includes book 1 and 2, and I reviewed them as a collection together. So it's only one review. Y'all have to look forward to find book 1 and 2 of this series reviewed on BFCG. Did that make sense? Hopefully. Okay, to be completely honest, I didn't really have high hopes for this series. I thought it might be a miss for me, but you know what? I ended up really enjoying it, and I'm really looking forward to reading the rest of the series. And what really stood out to me though is the characters are diverse, and I love that. Just for the record, it follows 4 girls: Morgan, who is African American, Emily, who is Caucasian, Amy is Vietnamese, and Carly is Hispanic. So I loved that it wasn't, you know, just the same. It was different, and I really enjoyed that. I really appreciated that. I do get asked pretty often for Christian books that have diverse characters in them, and I don't see it too often, so I never can give a really big list. But now I can add this series to it as soon as I finish it. But this first book, there you go. There's another 2 technically. So I personally gave this one 3 stars. Okay. Last preteen genre for this video, y'all. But honestly, 5 books, that is pretty good for this month. I didn't even know that till now. So yay, that's cool. So this is an Amish preteen mystery, and it's A Summer Secret by Kathleen Fuller. The cover is very like, oh my goodness, what is happening here? I gave this one 3 stars, and I actually read this one a few months ago, and since then I have finished this trilogy, and I wouldn't say this is my favorite one, so I'm looking forward to reviewing the later books in the series. But this one was actually pretty good. I did enjoy it. It just wasn't my favorite of the series. Hey, focus on me. It's focusing on her face and not my face. What's wrong with my face? What in the world? Oh, there I am. Hey! So like if a younger girl has always seen like her mom or grandmother or aunt or whoever reading Amish fiction and kind of like wondered about it, and maybe have gotten some kind of answer but was curious for their own selves to read it, I think this would be a good series for that. Okay, so for the I actually reviewed a sci-fi fantasy YA, which I feel like a bunch of y'all need to be proud of me because you always ask me, do I read fantasy? And I always answer, But I read one this month, so y'all be proud of me. And that book was Recruits by Thomas Locke? I don't know if the E is silent or not. So on this one, I actually gave 2 stars. It's, wasn't really my cup of tea, like I say for a lot of fantasy books, but I did try it out, so I feel like I did decently well, and it didn't hurt my head at all while I was reading, which a lot of other fantasy and sci-fi books have, so I feel like that was a positive thing. I was, I guess, disappointed by there was no spiritual content, which I have now found out that the author really focuses on having clean fiction, which I appreciate, but I did miss the spiritual content, the Christian side of the book. I do have my content review on this book on BFCG, so y'all can check that out if you're curious, and my final thoughts are a lot more eloquently put, to say the least. It was weird for me, though, to read from a male point of view, like near my age. That was strange, but weird and odd. But it wasn't so crazy, and the typical, I guess, what you would expect from a boy point of view. There was some clothing comments that I didn't like, and what was funny though was the girl was the instigator of the first kiss, and it was a quick kiss. I'm like, you guys just met and you're already kissing? What? They did start losing me when they mentioned like aliens and whatnot, but that's sci-fi. So I mean, there were parts I didn't like, but I did appreciate that it wasn't gory. I don't know, I don't think it was my cup of tea. I did want to try it out though, and I do have book 2, so I'm still on the fence if I'll read this one. I think if you're okay with clean and reading from a boy's point of view, but no Christian content, then you might enjoy it better. But for me, it wasn't a good fit. So for the historical side of things, I reviewed Jonas and Olivia by Victoria Minks. I gave this book 4 stars. It was really sweet. It was lighter than most reads, and it had no romance at all, but it had a plot that just stood. So this is set during a historical time period, and Olivia has just lost her parents, so she is still a minor, so she has to go live with someone, and that's Jonas. And Jonas, I wanted to grab by his ear at some point, so I'm like, be nice to Olivia. But they worked it out. It's okay. Olivia, though, was honestly so positive. I just loved it. She reminded me a little bit of Elsie Dinsmore from the Elsie Dinsmore series, but I liked Olivia better. Really, though, it was just overall a really cute and sweet read whose ending I really liked. So, speaking of endings, Lady Janie Disappears by Joanna Davidson Politano. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I just felt really glamorous saying this title with this author's name. I don't know why. First things first, this cover is great. Like, let me get it with, there we go. It's great. Like, the disappears is disappearing, and I love it. So I'm pretty sure I had this on my anticipated reads for the last half of 2017, and I think I said Jane, but I'm pretty sure it's Janie. I'm pretty sure that looks pretty obvious. I don't know how I missed that. So I gave this book 3.5 stars, and what I meant by the ending, I'll get there. This was a really interesting book. It was just very interesting. I feel like that's the best word to describe this book. The main girl just completely won me over. I just loved how she was sensitive to story ideas. It's like, I relate, girl, I relate. So I really liked her, and I loved how she was trying to find out everyone's story because she's just fascinated by stories. And it follows this main girl named Urieli. I've seen this name before, and I can't remember now how to say it for the life of me. Her father was a famous writer. Side note, pen name's under Nathaniel. So her father wrote these stories about Lady Janie, and she's always grown up hearing about it. So when she has to go to the house that Lady Janie lived in, she is constantly trying to find out the mystery of what happened to her. And it was a really unique experience because, number one, this is written in first person, and I don't see that in historical books very often. I feel like it's becoming more popular, and I'm okay with that. I really liked how she started praying for her friend's future husband before she even thought about her own future husband. So I loved her heart in this. I thought she was really sweet. It was a kind of Insta attraction book like I talked about in, I think it was the Q&A video. I talked about one of my pet peeves. So it did have the Insta attraction. So the romance was more than I would like at some times, but it still was pretty clean. There was some humor, which kind of came to a shock as me because it does have very much a gothic kind of vibe to it. It definitely could be dramatic. Let's leave it at that. There was some content I wasn't a fan of. And the romance was the Insta attraction, so I mean I wasn't a fan of that. But overall, plot-wise, it was really interestingly written. I will admit though, the ending, I like everything, call me a sap y'all, but I really like everything wrapped up with a bow, especially when there's family troubles. So while this book was wrapped up well, I was hoping for a little of a different outcome, but I think that's okay because I can see how it happened. For a debut novel, it was really interesting and it kept me on my toes while reading. So, you know, I think I'll probably be watching out for this author, and maybe that will give me a better opinion on her books, but for a debut, it was pretty good. So for a super sweet historical novella, No Small Storm by Ann Matier. I also gave this one 3.5 stars. And I've talked about Ann Matier's books before. Her books are right there, those 4 books. And I think only a couple of them are reviewed though on BFCG. I want to reread them maybe next year. I've really been waiting for her next book, and this novella was really cute. I really love though this cover. I think this cover really matches it well because the main girl has inherited an apple orchard, and then a hurricane happens. I'm like, oh wow, okay. And, okay, so for some reason, when I saw the name Ann Matier, I'm like, okay, sure, yes, I want to read it. So I read the first 2 paragraphs. And that's it, of the back bio. But then on the 3rd paragraph mentions a hurricane, and I didn't realize that until I'm reading. I'm like, what is the storm? So while I'm reading, I put the bookmark in. I was reading an ebook, so tap the bookmark in. And I'm like, what is this storm of 1815? I'm like, oh wow, it was a hurricane before hurricane was a word. So that was really kind of odd and kind of hit close to home, reading about a historical hurricane that devastated a lot. after going through what my state has gone through with Harvey, that twerp of a Harvey. So I mean that was a little weird, but you know, that's totally my own fault that I didn't finish reading the back cover. Don't know what I was thinking. Actually, I was thinking, it's a tear, I'm gonna like it. I did still enjoy it. It did feel a teeny bit rushed at some points, but it's a novella, so that kind of is just how novellas are, but it definitely was paced out well. Okay, so this next book was Bringing Maggie Home by Kim Volk-Sawyer, and for genre-wise, it was like 55% a contemporary, 30% a historical, 4% romance. That's what? Wait, no, there's more than 11% mystery. I don't know, y'all. There's also a lot of faith content, and it's just overall a mystery, so I don't know what genre to place this in. It's one of the time split ones, but it's majorly set contemporary, but you do go back to different historical times, but then it's a touch romance, and then there's some humor, and then I don't know what genre to place this in. So, speaking of the time split period books, I'm normally not a fan of those, but I enjoyed this one. I gave this one 4 stars. So I feel like this author, Kim Volk-Sawyer, just has a way with her historical writing that is just, I don't have a word to explain it because I'm not her. I just love how she writes her historical books. I've talked about some of her other historical books before, and I have some staring at me on my TBR that I need to read. But she just has a way with historical writing that I just absolutely adore reading. Honestly though, I don't know how she writes these historical books the way she does, because there's just something about them that just pulls me in with the writing style that's just so lovely, and I can't think of another historical author that does that. So kind of just to give you a little taste of what this book is, the back cover has this point that says, decades of loss, an unsolved mystery, and a rift spanning 3 generations. The 3-generation book, which, again, I'm not normally interested in that, but I liked this one. There is some bickering and unrest between the main lady, Hazel, and then her daughter. But at the same time, you can totally see where each of them are coming from. The grandmother and the mother and the daughter, you can all see what made them how they are now. So I did really appreciate that felt realistic. I also really like the granddaughter Megan. She's kind of where we start off in the contemporary side of it. I also like that she was a detective, but I'm still not sure how her detective partner Sean stole the show. Not sure, but I wanted more of him and them. They were cute. This one gave me a really pleasant surprise, so I give this one 4 stars. Are you ready for the next one? Are you ready? We are gathered here by Erin Mangum. And if you have seen my review of this, I tried so hard not to fangirl, but I can fangirl in these videos, so let's get fangirling. Ooh, 5-star read, y'all. 5-star read. Yes, yes. Oh, I just love 5-star books. I don't know, y'all. See, my notes literally just says fangirl about book. So here we go. So this is a novella collection by the very talented Erin Mangum. And, ooh, it's so good, y'all. It's 4 different novellas: Easter Carrots, Fish and Chips, Return to Chocolate, and Identical Differences. And I would have to say those first 2 were my top favorites. But oh my goodness, still, they all were great. It's just, they just stood out to me a little bit better. And of course, there's humor and spiritual content. And for being such a little book, it's so good. It's a novella, so they're each little books. Honestly, y'all, all the hard eye emojis. Oh, so good. Honestly, I don't know how to talk about this book besides the fact it's got humor and a ton of faith content and great characters and swoon. And then Miss Erin Mangum posted a couple days ago on Instagram that she's gonna have a collection, a paperback collection of her Christmas novellas. Yay! So then she released about her new novella, Oh Christmas Spree. So yes, I'm very, very excited about those, but this one has given me just more of a taste for Erin Mangum books that I just love so much. So yes, this one got 5 stars. Okay, so I spoke earlier about the Janice Thompson book of the month, and that was Like a Fish Out of Water by Janice Thompson. Hey! First off, cover appreciation time. So nice, so nice. Honestly, this series has some great covers. So this is actually book 2 in the Mysteries of Martha's Vineyard series, and ooh, and I give this one 4 stars. I really enjoyed this one. No shock. I did enjoy this one though a bit better than the first book, but I'm pretty positive that's because it's Janice Thompson's humor and her just her characters, and I just it's Janice Thompson, y'all. And then the last book I will be talking about in this video today is another 5-star read. 2 5-star books, 1 month. Wow! Has that happened before? I don't think that's happened before. Like, from a different author or genre? Don't think that's happened before. So October 2017, the date for the record books. So, what was this 5-star book? It was Daring to Hope by Katie Davis Majors. This is the author of Kisses from Katie. Oh, Kisses from Katie. I love that book so much. Kisses from Katie, I have fangirled about quite a bit. I just adore that book. I own like 3 copies of that book. I have yet to get this one though in hardback though. That is on my to-do list. I need to get Daring to Hope in hardback because there's pictures, y'all. There's pictures too. And Kisses for Katie will be reviewed hopefully in November, coming up here this month. If not December, but it definitely will be reviewed before the end of the year is up, so get excited for that. But meanwhile, let's talk about Daring to Hope. I really think the message of hope, having hope, and trusting in our hope is such an important topic in today's world as Christians, because you turn on the local news and it's depressing. Let's be honest. So this book was all about hope. It picked up right where Kisses from Katie left off, and it is just about hope, and I love it. When we cannot find joy in our circumstances, we can find joy in God who is unchanged and unchanging. We can rejoice not in what is going on around or within us, but because God is our strength and He will continue to be. So good, y'all. So good. I love that. That's one of my favorite quotes from this book right there. See, the tagline down at the bottom is finding God's goodness in the broken and the beautiful. Yeah, I can't top that. I can't top that. Any comments? I can't. That is just, that sums up the book perfectly well. Oh, I love ending this video on a happy note. Oh, that makes me feel so good. So, yes, this was actually a pretty busy but fantastic month in the scheme of reading and reviewing. 2 5-stars. Oh, okay, 2, 1, 2, whatever. 2 5-stars. Woo! That's exciting. I'm so excited. What will November bring? We will just have to see. I did do in September's wrap-up a vlog at the end, kind of showing y'all a peek into what my month was like non-book-wise. And this wrap-up video won't have it. I do want to make it where each wrap-up video has one, but this one won't because I just did my Hawaii vlog. I posted that last week, so y'all can go check it out here. I also posted my Q&A, which y'all can see here. They'll also be linked in the cards and in the description below. I also need to correct something I said in 2 past videos. In the Q&A and then in the Finally Fall book tag, I did a quote from the movie That Darn Cat, which a few of y'all got. And y'all still got it, so that's the important thing. But I said the quote wrong. I kept saying Jeffrey. Jeffrey, I look yak in yellow. It's Gregory. Megan sent me a clip. She's like, I thought of you. And I'm still so tickled by that. But then I'm like, wait, it's Gregory? I think I've been saying Jeffrey, and sure enough, I've been saying Jeffrey. So, moral of the story is, though, y'all still got it. Y'all still got the quote. I mean, so maybe I'm not the only one who thinks his name is Jeffrey and not Gregory, but, you know, they're close, similar, not really, but I don't know how my mind works. So, I just had to correct that real quick while I was here. But still, 3 of y'all got that, and I'm so proud. So, y'all got it. I'm proud. But yes, y'all got it even with me messing up the quote, so bravo to y'all. Okay, so I guess that's it for this video. I really had fun talking with y'all today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you've read any of these books or if any have now been added to your TBR. November looks like it's going to be a pretty great month, so I can't wait to get diving onto those books. I'll see y'all next week with another video. I'm Lindsay from the blog booksforchristiangirls.blogspot.com, where I post a new review every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I have a new video on this channel every Thursday, and I'm on Instagram every other day. Bye, y'all!